Hello, everybody. My name is Shelby Williamson, and I'm the Senior Communications Specialist for Marquette University. And I'm so excited to be sitting down for a lovely interview with Kareeda Chones-Aguam, who is the Senior Vice President of Partner Strategy and Management for the Milwaukee Bucks and Fiserv Forum. The reason why I am sitting down with her today is because she is actually named on Milwaukee BizTimes' Notable Alumni series. So congratulations to you, Kareeda. And thank you so much for sitting down with me today. How have you been?
Good, good. Hey, thank you. I'm very excited to be with you and absolutely honored to be selected. So let's get started.
So you are a 1998 graduate of Marquette, correct? What
Yes.
did you get your degrees in?
My degrees were in communications, the College of Communications with a degree in public relations and a minor in Spanish. So
Okay.
yeah.
What does it just mean to you, first and foremost, to be part of or named a notable alumni, rather?
No, it's a big honor. I'm just honored to be thought of as notable. I really loved my time at Marquette, but I understand that what I've been able to do, remaining in the community, and how I can kind of help our community grow outside of not only Marquette, but what I do here with the Bucks. Like it's really important to me, and to note that people have seen what I do as being notable. I think I'm just honored and blessed to be named. So very happy with it.
How did Marquette shape your life and your career as it stands now?
Well, I would say for sure of shaping my career, it's all about teamwork. It's all about developing relationships. That's what I do on a daily basis, day in and day out. So for me, being a member of an amazing squad of young ladies on the Marquette women's basketball team, it kind of taught me those skills, right? Of how to work together, how to be a leader when you need to be, how to know your role on a team. When I came to Marquette, everybody comes in as an athlete being the best at where they are. But once you get to the school, everybody's great, right? So I might have been great where I came from, or so I thought. But once you're at Marquette, everybody's kind of number one, and you really kind of fall into your space and fall into your role, and you do what you need to just to kind of make that happen. So that part for sure has helped me in my career, learning what it means to be a great team member and a great leader when needed. And I'd say overall, like that's kind of what I use on my day-to-day basis, and that all stemmed from Marquette. I'd say another thing that's kind of helped me in my life is what I learned from my coach at the time was Terry Mitchell, and it's all about surrounding yourself with good people, people that are at peace with themselves and just want to help one another. And that's kind of been my mantra, right, throughout my entire life and my career of like, who's in my life, and how do I make sure to bring out the best in them, and they too bring the best out of me. So I'd say those two things really kind of helped mold who I am. But it starts and ends with just developing great relationships.
That's so nice. And I think that if we've been taught anything from this past year is how valuable a great team is to keep things going, even during the craziest of times. I'm also curious, why did you choose Marquette?
Yeah, so we are a basketball family. My father played at Marquette years ago under Al McGuire. And I have five siblings, and I think I was the oldest of five. And once I was recruited by a few schools, not a ton, but a few schools across the country, Marquette was definitely one of those that gave me the opportunity to come for a visit. So wanting to go where Dad went was intriguing. But I have to admit, back to kind of the relationships, when I got here and met some of the older seniors and juniors and sophomores and classmates that would be my teammates on a visit, it was just, I fell in love with the school. I fell in love with the ladies, and I loved the coaching staff. And that was it for me. That's where I really thought about, okay, this is where I want to be, So that I think was the main reason why I came here. But sure, Dad spoke very highly of Marquette and what the community and what the city of Milwaukee means to him. So for sure, when I had that opportunity, I wanted to jump at it.
It just sounds like you live and breathe basketball. So what a more perfect place than Marquette, and now working for Milwaukee Bucks. What do you like most about your career?
I would say it's been a long career path, but I'd say for sure being with the people that I work with. I have, as I alluded to before, an amazing team, and they work so hard every day. And not everybody in the world can go to work every day and, walk in the door and say, man, I'm just so happy to be here. I love the people I work with. I love what I do. But we have that opportunity. So having that on a, day in and day out is what makes my career what it is. It's what makes me happy every day. It's what really kind of helps mold me as a business professional here in the city.
One of the criteria for the Notable Alumni series is the things that alumni do to give back to their community. So I know that you're involved in several different things. Can you just tell us a little bit about what you do to give back to the community?
Yeah, I am a member of Penfield Children's Center. It's funny, it's a short story about Penfield. When I was at Marquette, it's also important to give back as student athletes and just as students at Marquette, and have had an opportunity to volunteer at Penfield Children's Center, not too far from campus when I was, I think I was a sophomore or junior. And in full circle, a couple years ago, met Jason Perry, who runs kind of their fundraising at Penfield. And we had a chance to meet. They were looking for additional board members. And I said, I'm compelled. It's meant for me to kind of be a part of this board as well. So joined the board now going on, I think, 4 years ago. And love the mission, love helping out in our communities with young individuals, young families with young children that have needs after 3 years old. It kind of helps them throughout their life in school and all of that. So that was really important to me. Employ Milwaukee, I'm also a board member of, and then I also sit on the professional development committee for Tempo Milwaukee, which is an amazing women's organization throughout the city. So those are kind of the three. But throughout my career with the Bucks, a lot of our corporate partners who I manage with our team have huge community platforms. So that's a big part of what we do. Not only the assets and the partnerships that they join in partnership with us, but there's also community social responsibility initiatives that the majority of our partners have as well, which is so key and so important to not only the Bucks, but also the community at large.
Sounds like you are such a busy person with tons of responsibilities, and I can imagine that balancing all of that is a challenge in it of itself. But what would you say is one of the biggest challenges that you faced throughout your career, and how did you overcome it?
I would say for me, I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, just really not having kind of that role model or someone that looks like me as a female African American, especially in the NBA, right? So when I started, 22 years ago, it was really pretty much male dominated industry, and it's gradually changed, right? Bringing in Adam Silver, who's so innovative, and we become a global brand, and like you want to make sure you're mirroring who are your fans, who are your players. So the importance of growing and amplifying women, growing and amplifying people of color has become an initiative of the league, and especially in our organization as well. So that was probably a challenge for me coming up through the ranks. However, now I feel like I now get to be that person for so many people, male and female, but having someone to, reaching behind, right, bringing up that next great professional, letting them know what I've gone throughout my career and how I can kind of help that next generation. Like, that's a passion of mine. It's something I love to do, and that's kind of was a challenge for me. But now, hopefully, not having that challenge, I can allow that to be for someone else. So that's really important.
Right. Well, it just sounds like paving the way for future generations is kind of what keeps you motivated in your own role to better yourself personally and professionally and the industry overall. What sort of advice do you have for current and future Marquette students that might be considering a career such as yourself in the role that you are in?
I always tell my team the importance of developing mental libraries. So what's that? I go a little overboard, but I'm always sending them great articles and just tidbits and things that are happening in our industry, things that are happening with our partners, and continue to develop. Like, we all can continue to learn. So that's always key and important. And before you dive deep into a different type of career or a different industry, learn as much as you can and continue to learn, because the world continues to change. Businesses and industries become more and more innovative. So we have to make sure we're on the cutting edge of that. So I'd say networking, and I'd say always ask for what you want, right? Don't always assume that, I see Shelby working hard, that I'm going to necessarily promote her or give her additional responsibility. A lot of times the people just have so much going on, they don't always realize and recognize that. So the importance of speaking up for yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. So.
Right. So being strong in your role.
For sure.
I love to close out with a little bit of nostalgia, talking about Marquette again. What is one of your favorite memories from your time at Marquette? I'm sure there are many standout events. If you had to pick a favorite one, which one would it be?
Well, since we're like ending March on March Madness, I'd have to say a lot of my fondest memories were from us heading to the NCAA tournament. And one year in particular, I believe we were juniors. Father Wild was president at the time, and I remember our junior year, we were a 12th seed, and we played at LSU. And I think our first competition was against against Clemson, who was a 5 seed. So we were just, young, had a great season. We were playing well. We were playing. Terry was our coach at the time, and we upset them. A 12 seed upset a 5 seed, and we were so excited. And I'll never forget. We get in the locker room, and we're all jumping around and screaming and so excited and all that. And all of a sudden, Father Wild walks in, and we're all just like, oh, hi, And all of a sudden, he starts jumping and waving his hand, and I was like, oh my God, So just the amazing memories and things that we did together as a team, winning as a team, is what is some of my fondest memories of Marquette. I mean, it's been a great institution to me and my family, and I still love to be as involved as I can be. You guys have an amazing athletic director in Bill Scholl, who I consider a dear friend. So just great memories, and love to do what I can to continue to bring up that next generation of student athletes and students in general.